My Lords, I beg leave to ask the question standing on my name in the order paper.
My Lords, we are aware of reports of the disturbances at Camp Ashraf on the 25th and 26th of December last. Embassy officials in Baghdad regularly discuss this situation with the United Nations, the United States and the European Union. Our UN contacts met the Iraqi government's Ashraf Committee on the 9th of January and raised their concerns about these and other recent events. The United Kingdom has underlined the need for the Iraqi authorities to deal with the residents of Camp Ashraf in a way that meets international humanitarian standards.
Thank the Minister for that response, but can he tell me what representations the UK has made to Iraq about the round-the-clock use of about 180 loudspeakers blaring out constantly threats to kill Ashraf residents, amounting to psychological torture? And given Iraq's breaches of its undertakings to secure the safety and security of these pro-democracy refugees, will the UK ask the United Nations now to station a monitoring force inside Camp Ashraf to prevent further abuse of residents by Iraqi thugs in uniform?
Well, we have made, and indeed are making all the time, representations through our work with the United Nations, and we're also planning another direct meeting ourselves with officials of the Iraqi government. And I know the noble Lord appreciates that this is Iraqi government sovereign territory, and therefore we have to make our approaches through the Iraqi government. As to the United Nations, they have taken certain views about withdrawing the regular monitoring operation they had when the United States and the Allied forces were there, but now they've withdrawn. They have make fairly systematic and regular visits, but they're not at the moment ready to return to a monitoring system. That is the position at the moment, but I would be the first to agree with the noble lord that it is far from satisfactory.
Is it not a fact that these unfortunate people in Camp Ashraf have been subjected to a long campaign of persecution and harassment by the Iraqi authorities, even to the effect of having medical treatment stopped? Food and medical cover has been denied to them, and the number of people involved include a number of women, and really this is quite insufferable and something ought to be done about it.
Well, I agree. It is a miserable situation, and I hope it doesn't turn into an even worse tragedy. The noble Lord Corbett has rightly drawn our attention to it and to the organised disturbances apparently promoted by the Iraqi official authorities outside this camp in December and again in January. I myself have an opportunity, not of course to visit the area, because it's very difficult to get to, but certainly to see the rather grim videos which are available on the internet to any noble lord who cares to watch them, about what was going on and the apparently deliberate provocation, the heaving of stones, the damaging of people in a most unpleasant way. The noble Baroness is also right that there are a lot of women in this camp. The Iraqi authorities, which we've pressed again and again, undertake that medical supplies, food supplies and all vital supplies continue to be delivered to Camp Ashraf. That is what they tell us, and we will continue to hold them to that. But in the longer term, they've also made clear that the camp cannot stay as it is, and may have to be, those involved may have to be moved. But this is the prospect for the future that we'll have to deal with.
Lord, in his original reply, the noble Lord, the Minister, referred to this as disturbances, which gives the impression that this is something going on with the notice but not the support of the government of Iraq. But my lords, in fact, it appears from all the evidence which the noble lord has cited himself that this is being done with the cognizance of the government, and it's not just harassment; it's physical assault. It's the sort of thing that was the precursor to the most dreadful things under the Nazi regime, and it's something of which the United Nations should be not merely cognizant but actively opposed.
Well, I have the sentiments of my noble friend. I agree with the finding the right word for these sort of provocation of people gathering outside the entrance to Camp Ashraf and parking there, and the loudspeakers and the throwing of stones is something more than disturbance. It is a sort of provocation, and it does appear to be organised or permitted by the Iraqi government. This is a pattern which could build up, my noble friend is right, through intimidation to something much more serious. And I repeat that although this is Iraqi sovereign territory and the Iraqi government must act, all the authorities outside, including ourselves, including all those countries and institutions that uphold civilized values, must press for this to avoid becoming the tragedy which otherwise threatens.